Hi. In Romania, the regulatory framework regarding advertising is mainly made by a general advertising law. Also, we have specific law for misleading and comparative advertising. And for audiovisual advertising, there is the audiovisual law and a decision on the code of regulating the audiovisual content. There are also some specific provisions that have to be taken into consideration depending on the product or service that makes the object of the advertising. In this case, we have the food. So there is a legislation on labeling of food products. There is a general law regarding consumer protection. We have the EU regulation, and we have an auto-regulation code of Romanian Advertising Council. This code is binding for the members of this association, but is viewed as a standard in the industry. The association made also a code for the advertising for food products that is targeting minors. That means in Romania, people under 18 years old. So the Romanian legislation has specific provisions regarding advertising, what is permitted, what is not. There are several conditions, and among which, if the advertising is subliminal, if it violates religious or political beliefs, if it exploits superstitions, credibility, if it's detrimental to the image, is prohibited. Comparative advertising is permitted, as we have implemented the directive, the EU directive, if it's not misleading, if it compares goods, services destined for the same needs or purposes, if it does not misrepresent the goods, services as imitation, reproductions of goods, services bearing a protected trademark or trade name, etc. In what concerns the food products, the denomination under which the food product is sold must include, or it has to be accompanied by, information regarding the physical state of that product if the product has been the subject of specific treatments. For example, if it was transformed into powder, smoking, or freezing, in order not to cause confusion for the consumer. Also, if the product was treated with ionized radiation, must bear the inscription irradiated or treated with ionized radiations. It is forbidden to use the terms manner, type, kind, together with the denomination of under which the food product is sold. For example, salami kind, and in fact there is no meat, or it's not like a salami, or milk kind, and in fact is a soya product. In what concerns the information advertising for food products, all this information must not lead the consumer into error. So it should not attribute to the food product effects or properties which it does not possess. It should not suggest by means of appearance or description the presence of a particular food ingredient normally used in that food, when in fact it has been substituted with a different component ingredient, etc. It should not encourage the excessive consumption of food, the advertising, not to suggest quitting the consumption of fruit, vegetable, or natural foods. This is very important because I will show later a case not to use the image of celebrities or personalities, doctors, if the ad is addressed to minors. In what concerns the ads for juices and refreshments, it must mention the percentage of fruit vegetables contained if the ad shows fruit or vegetables, and should not use the image of fruit or vegetables if the product is only flavored. In what concerns the ads for spirit drinks, these are forbidden to be broadcasted between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. and must not depict minors drinking. I have chosen a few cases that were solved by the National Audiovisual Council. The first one concerns an ad for a wine called Sânge de Taur in Romanian. In English, it's bull's blood. This advertising was forbidden. So the ad showed a bottle of red wine in a horizontal position, which then becomes vertical, while the background voice was saying the Association of Happy Women thanks the producer, and good for women if the men drink it. So the National Audiovisual Council considered that this is misleading advertising because it presents a food product as if such possesses a characteristic that it does not, namely increasing potency, in breach of the audiovisual content. So this ad was forbidden, and in order to be broadcasted again, it had to be changed. The second one was an advertising for a salami product. It showed children being held at gunpoint. These were toy guns by other children, threatened to surrender their sandwiches with fox salami. The Audiovisual Council considered that this ad was promoting violence among children and encouraged them to specifically ask their parents to buy this kind of salami, which is forbidden by the law. So this ad was forbidden, and it had to be changed in order to be broadcasted again. The third case, it's an ad for ice cream. And then, as I have said previously, in what concerns advertising for food products destined for minors, it is forbidden to use celebrities or personalities. These are two singers that are quite famous in Romania, and they were making an ad for, so they were buying the ice cream, they were dancing and singing, and this ad was broadcasted on a channel destined for minors. The Audiovisual Council said that this was in breach of the legal provision, and thus it forbidden. This was a case that produced quite a stir in Romania. It concerned a mineral water called Aqua Carpatica, which said it's the purest mineral water in the whole world. And it says that repeatedly said the idea that the water contains 0 nitrates, and it is not a threat to consumers, especially babies, due to the lack of nitrates. There were several authorities in Romania that were involved in this case. The Patronage for Mineral Waters was one of them, and they came with the opinion that the nitrates are found naturally in the composition of mineral waters, and they are not a threat to public health if they are within certain limits. And the purest mineral water in the world was not sustained by any study. So this advertising was forbidden. In addition, for the misleading and comparative advertising in Romania, the sanctions are inflicted by the Ministry of Public Finances. So the authority was involved also in this case. They received a fine. The last case concerned a teleshopping ad for supplements. There was a doctor that was presenting Tibetan mushrooms and Indian turmeric and showed a number of health benefits, saying that it cured cancer. They were showing a lot of people saying that they were cured by the use of these products. And the Audiovisual Council considered that this was a threat to the public health. It was in breach of the legal provision. It was misleading because no study was presented, and this advertising was forbidden.
Thank you, Delia.